Hello, 안녕하세요. Ryan Walters here, pitch side along with Paul Neat. And we may have had some technical issues before we came on, but you don't know about that, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, here we are, post-match. And as all of us predicted pre-season, FC Seoul is sitting alone on top of the K-League 1 table.
Yeah, all of us.
All of us.
Or none of us, as it were.
Yeah.
Really.
I think a deserved victory, 2-0 win today against Sangju Sangmu, who... I say it was a deserved victory for Seoul, and I do think it was, but Sangju looked good today.
I think it was deserved in the sense that Seoul were clever enough to get them behind the ball in the second half at the right time, soak up the pressure, and then, as the second goal came on the counter-attack, that was clearly their game plan. It was a back five at times, for a 5-4-1, out of possession, and I think in that sense, tactically, it was a deserved victory.
Yeah. I think, there were a couple of notable members in the starting lineup today, not least of which Pesic got his first start today. What were your impressions of him in his first full game?
He was clearly a man who's not played that much with these players before. Wasn't quite coming off for him. Bit of communication issues, I think, with likes of Park Ju-young, him in particular, and Go Yo-han. There was a little bit of a messing around with the ball. Yeah, well, there was
a bit of a spat between all three of them at one point.
Yeah, I mean, that can be a good thing. If you have someone like him, like Dayan was, who demands the absolute best, you need to be able to give him the ball at the right time in the right places on the field. And if you're not going to do that, he's not going to score goals.
Yeah, and he didn't necessarily have the best debut today. He did all right. I still think that he offers more in hold-up play, and I think that he helped on the transition a little bit more. But expect that a little bit more, to be frank.
No, yeah, I think as time goes on and he does, develop an understanding with his teammates, that will happen. I think the best thing that he did was when he got on the ball and he was allowed to move forward with it.
Yeah,
he did that well. He carried the ball forward well, and let's not forget the Seoul's second goal was his ball across to Park Ju-young. Park Ju-young's shot was then saved. Jung Won-jin with the follow up. So he contributed. Yes, it's true. And I'm sure that in games in the future he will get that goal and he will be able to be that man who can score upwards of 10-15 league goals for them.
Do we think that when they start to go up against the Jumbuks, the Ulsans of the world, that they're going to keep this up?
Well, that is a good point, because they need a goal. Yeah,
right.
In 4 games they had 14 defeats, which is incredible, really.
Yes.
But that's a very valid point. When they do come up against the big boys, as it were, then that will be a test of how far they've come, because they've not been that convincing in large periods of games. Right. The Pohang game, as Pete just talked about on the podcast last week, Pohang were very poor that afternoon.
Yes.
Seoul were good, Pohang were poor. And in games since then, the Songnam win was also a little bit laboured. Yeah. The Jeju 0-0, obviously, you can't score at home. Yeah. Against the Jeju side that have only scored 2 so far. So the big test will be when John Books, the Ulsans, those kind of teams come here. And next week they've got the team that finished second last year coming here. Yeah,
Gyeongnam, a team that is known for scoring goals. So really, I think that, in a lot of ways, I think that's going to be the biggest test for Seoul this year, is to see if they can keep them off of the score sheet. Not that Gyeongnam is the team that they were last year, but they do play some smart attacking football, and I think they'll be watching their game really closely this weekend to kind of study. But, again, you can only play who's put in front of you. And
exactly.
They, as you say, they have not conceded a goal yet. They're alone in first place and have been taking advantage of the schedule that was presented to them in a lot of ways. Before we get out of here, though, and sounds like it's going to rain and or the roof is going to come off real quick.
I thought it was a rain coming in already.
It's getting there. I think we would be remiss to get out of here and not talk about Sangju. They didn't get the win today, but I think they look like a team that deserves to be up towards the top of the table right now. We talked about this a lot during the game. They're just playing smart football, just simple, smart football, short passes, good off-the-ball movement, and it looks like their communication is really great right now.
Yeah, and they were camped in Seoul's half for much of the second half. They just couldn't quite get that key pass. I think credit to Seoul for their defending. Some players like I know you want to talk about.
I was going to leave it, but he because, I mean, like you say, Seoul has had 4 clean sheets, so it's tough to pick on a defender a bit, but Kim Won-gyun just, every time he gets the ball, he really reminds me of a lot of the folks that I played football with in high school, that they don't want the ball. That's why we were defenders, and they'd get it, and it just every time doesn't take a touch, nothing else, just clears it, and it doesn't allow anybody else to get into position to get those second balls that you know are going to be coming because it's a rush clearance, and he's just not setting the team up on the counter. I think they were lucky a lot of the times with a lot of the clearances that he had, but that's something that's got to be looked at. He's got to clean that up when they come up against, like we were saying, the Jumbooks and the Ulsans of the world, and the leaf blowers that are on their way over. But between the leaf blow that's going to be here in 2 seconds, the rain coming down, and it being freezing cold, I think we're going to call it right there. But we will be back. We're recording the podcast on Monday, so if you have any questions, comments, or reactions to this match or anything else this weekend, please get those in the comments below. But until then, we're going to go somewhere where it's warm, and remember that in the middle of summer we're gonna be sweating.
Yes.
Warmer days are coming. But anyway, impressive performance from Seoul here today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.